God, oh, I can't see tomorrow. Gotta live, try to get a little wiggle room, the rest don't stop. Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Tryna make a dollar, flip it like it's vinyl. Tryna make a what's it worth to you if the price too high? Quid pro quo, I need the best y'all got. Give me your best. Don't take nothing less, cause I'm giving you 100. How you always leaving me with nothing? I'm not impressed. It's gonna take more than this, cause I'm giving you 100. And I don't even know if I can trust you for nothing.
Well, what's up? What's up? What's up? Good morning, everybody. Good morning, Vanessa. Let me fix this camera real quick. I got it zoomed in too tight. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Thursday, y'all. It has been a great morning so far. Already got my reading done for the day. Got a little bit of quiet time done. Got some journaling and some walking around. Good morning, Cynthia. Good morning, Carrie. How's everybody? Missed you, Carrie, yesterday. Good to see everybody yesterday at the meeting that were there. It was a good meeting. I'm glad to see everybody. We're hoping to, looking forward to this, man, a little change maybe in a couple of weeks. Haven't gotten a full detail on that, but we'll get that figured out. Good morning. Welcome to Thursday. It is January the 19th. For all of my 75 harders, welcome to day 19 or day 16 or day 17. Some of you may be at day 1. You may be going back again, starting over. But hey, listen, I'm really enjoying Andrew Frisella's book. That book is super good, and if you've not listened, it's hard to listen to his podcast for me. I don't mind using the F word, but holy smoke! I mean, I used to work for a guy that the F word was like his favorite word for everything, and it just makes it hard. So, but he's no nonsense. I mean, it's all straight shooting. It's all things that I'm probably thinking, and all things that you're thinking. It's just how he relays it. That's just who he is. Good morning, Teal. Missed you yesterday. Hope everybody's great, man. I hope everybody's looking forward to today. Looking forward to a Thursday, and looking forward to doing all the small things today to get it done. Good morning. Probably that's Millie. Good morning, Millie. How are you? Millie has the gym traffic. Is it all sort of, we talked about that yesterday. The gym traffic's kind of decreased now. We're 19 days into the new year, and everybody now is just kind of like the excitement of the new year's over. We're going on 3 weeks into the new year, and going to the gym has become not as exciting as it was the first of the year. It's become not as exciting as it was before. So, and that's an indication. And that's something maybe we'll talk about today. I'm not, because honestly, I don't really have a topic to talk about this morning other than, so if anybody's got anything on my end or your end. Can everybody, Millie just said the phone service is horrible today. Can everybody hear me okay? Or is it just Millie's phone? Millie, it may be a Milledgeville thing. Is everybody else good? The connection's good? Comments? Please. It's on. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Perfect. So, okay. Perfect. Thanks, Teal. Thanks, Cynthia. All right. Well, good morning, y'all. My name's Aaron Dwyer, and my wife, Christy, and I own Exit Realty Lake Country. We have offices in Tennessee and in Georgia. For those of you that are on here now this morning with us, you probably know that. But for those of you that will watch this later, maybe take a look at this sometime in the afternoon, I just wanted to make sure that I introduce myself and introduce who I am, what we do. We do this every single morning, 5:30 Central, 6:30 Eastern. Get on a phone call, get on this video call, and do a live call with our agents, just trying to give them some motivation, maybe a launching point for their day to help them have the best day they can. So thanks for you guys that are up with us this morning. Do me a favor, make sure, like you always do, tell me good morning, that let me know that you're here. So good morning, Kristen. so I know that I'm not talking to dead air, but it's okay. But y'all, thanks for getting up with us. Thanks for getting up this morning, and let's get rocking and rolling. So again, not really sure what's been on my mind lately is motivation, and probably it's because of 75 hard. It's. I mean, we're on day 19. I'm on day 19, so let's just talk about Aaron for a second. This time last year, let me back up. Yesterday was a day that if I were going to get distracted, if I were going to fall off the wagon, if I were going to not do the things that need to be done to continue in this process, yesterday would have been a day to make that happen. Got up yesterday morning, perfectly fine, did the call, was getting ready to go outside and to walk, and needed to take Zeke to school. So take Zeke to school, get back home, was going to go walk, but then I had to get ready to get to the meeting to be there, to make sure that we're there at a decent time. Because if I'd have taken 45 minutes to go walk, then I wouldn't have been at the meeting until probably 11:30, right? We would have been there. We'd been there super late. Christy had a listing appointment yesterday morning, so we were kind of pulling in both directions. A typical morning for a lot of us. Your spouse has this to do. Your spouse needs you to jump in here and do this, so your plans get changed, or you got to alter kind of what you were doing because you got to pick up the slack for your spouse and help them get the things that they need to do because they have an important thing to go do as well. So that morning really and I was out of whack that yesterday morning because I'm a DIC personality. So my C personality likes me to have a schedule, set a schedule, believe in a schedule, and go do the schedule. When the schedule plans change, when things get out of whack, for like a lot of you, it completely derails us. How many times in life do we let little things, little alterations, little changes completely derail our momentum, completely shift our focus, completely shift everything that we're doing from going and doing the thing that we know needs to be done? And then we have that little bitty hiccup. We have a little bitty change in momentum, or a little bitty change in focus, or that plan gets altered in some way. And then we just abandon this altogether. And we use this little bitty thing as an excuse to abandon the big goal. Did it ever happen to any of you? Where you let a little bitty excuse justify abandoning your big goal? So yesterday morning was, again, one of those mornings. It was one of those mornings where it could have really derailed me. I put my clothes in the car. I wanted to go and work out after the meeting. And I didn't get my first workout in, y'all, till yesterday evening. So until I got back to the house at like 5-ish or 6-ish, I think I walked back in. I got done with my workout at 6:51 yesterday evening. But here's what I've learned. And this is the thing about 75 hard now versus 75 hard last year. Last year, I would have used yesterday as an excuse. I would have used yesterday and all the crap that happened yesterday, I would have used it as an excuse to not do what needs to be done. But at the end of the day, not doing what needs to be done doesn't affect that out there. It affects this in here. And that's what happens is this compound effect of not doing what needs to be done, not doing the small things that need to be done. That compounding effect inside is where the damage occurs. Yes, absolutely. Cynthia's got a great thing here, and so she says, not trying to change the topic, but can we chat about mental workouts? In Christy's defense, I think there are exercises to work our mental resilience and grit. 100%, I agree. And so I'm going to table that because yes, I absolutely believe that's true. And I think it goes back to what I'm saying. So it's great that you said that because I believe it goes back to what I'm saying. The battle, more times than not. Jeff Whitney, what's up, dude? Good morning. The battle for us, 99.9% of the time, is not against outside forces. Our battle is not against all the things on the outside. So to Cynthia's want to chat about this, our battle is always on the inside. Our battle is always in our mind and in our hearts. That's where our battle always is. And then what happens on the outside is just a manifestation of whether or not we are cowering to that voice. So Cynthia, to speak to that, here's what I like. For me, for Aaron Dwyer, my mental. Let me ask you a question. How many of you on this call feel like you've got 15 plates spinning at the same time? You've got kids that need you. You have spouses that need you. You have a business that needs you. You got to wash the clothes. You got to take the dog for a walk. You've got to make sure the laundry's done. You got to go to the grocery store. You have to make sure that your sister's taken care of, that your mom and dad need you to call them. How many of you feel like that? That you're just always spinning plates, that you're always just, right? That you're just doing this all the time. You all do. We all feel that way. We're in this world where we've got a telephone in our hand that keeps us attached to you know what, all day long. That one thing that we have in our hand that helps us do our business is the one thing that creates so much stress and distraction and is the enemy of our time. So to Cynthia's point, can we talk about the mental exercises? That's why I love meditation. And people get freaked out about the word meditation, especially if you grew up in the South. You get freaked out about meditation because you picture in your mind, or at least I used to. I picture these dudes in orange robes that are bald that sit around all day and don't do anything but just be quiet, and that they don't believe in God, or it's not part of what we believe that God wants us to do. Good morning, Michelle T. But I'm telling you, the Bible, every religious text on the planet talks about that still small voice. Every religious text on the planet talks about you got to guard your mind. Every religious text on the planet talks about having a time for you to connect to God when it's just you. So to Cynthia's point, what I do to gain that mental strength, for that mental toughness, is I just shut down. I'm just quiet. And I don't shut down like I'm like Vince Vaughn in Four Christmases, where he's like, well, I'm shutting down. I'm just not doing this anymore. Not that, where you shut down everything, where you get rid of your phone, you get rid of the noise, you tell your husband, I'll be back in 10 minutes. I'll be back in 15 minutes. And you make it a habit of being quiet, of going and sitting in a room and closing your eyes and just breathing. Or you go in a room, you close your eyes and you speak to God, not from a place of asking for him to do something, but just in a place where you're grateful and you have gratitude. I think that, Cynthia, in this world of distraction, in this world of noise, I mean, when I said that, y'all all feel this. How am I going to get all this done today? How am I going to get everything done today? How am I going to get up and go to Madison, have a meeting, have lunch, get back to Hartwell, do the things that I got to do when I get back to Hartwell, and all these things in your head that you're spinning in your head, trying to figure out what you're going to do, when sometimes all you need to do is be still. That's what I do, Cynthia. That's me. That's my mental toughness comes from just being quiet. From and y'all, I'm sorry if your kids are here, put your hands over their ears right now, because what Andy Frisella in 75 Hard talks about is that you have a bitch voice and a boss voice, and it's your bitch voice that makes excuses for you. This little thing that I talk about on your shoulder, that's your bitch voice. And it makes excuses for you. It tells you it's all going to be okay. It tells you don't worry about making those phone calls. Don't worry about sitting in quiet meditating. Don't worry about any of those things. Just do whatever makes you feel good. Yep, you can scroll TikTok. That is perfectly fine. Oh my gosh, you should be on Facebook. You should absolutely go check out what everybody else is doing right now. That is a fantastic idea. So when you get done scrolling on TikTok, when you get finished on Facebook looking at everybody else's business, trying to keep up with everybody else, what the bitch voice then tells you is, man, if you would just spend time making phone calls, you'd be so much better at this business. If you would have just used that time to go knock on some doors, oh my gosh, you'd be so much better in real estate. There were so many better things you could have done instead of scrolling TikTok or scrolling Facebook or browsing or looking at other people's business. So for me, my mental toughness and my grit comes from understanding me. It all starts from the inside. All growth starts from the inside. Everything we do begins inside. every barrier, every limitation, everything that we believe about ourselves, everything we believe we're capable of, or everything we don't believe we're capable of, that all starts on the inside. Everything in nature grows from the inside out. Nothing in nature grows from the outside in. Nature doesn't pull things from the outside. Trees don't use things on the outside to pull to themselves to make themselves bigger. They use oxygen, they use sunlight. But their growth, look at the rings in a tree, starts from the inside, starts from a little bitty thing, and one ring after one ring after one ring after one ring. It's one day and then the next day and the next day. Sometimes it's, if I can just make it through the next 10 minutes, the next 20 minutes, if I can just do this for 30 minutes. That's the beautiful thing about this, the mental, Cynthia, 75 Hard is so much about your mental toughness. It's about grit. 75 days is it's a long time. I mean, 75 days is 2.5 months. But that 2.5 months down here is built on one single action every single day. Actually, 5 actions every single day. And doing those same 5 actions every single day for 75 days. Your business is the same way. Think about your business right now. Think about your business right now, 75 days from now, 2.5 months from now. If you were to do the things that I ask you to do, if you were to make your phone calls, we're going to talk about for sale by owner stuff this afternoon. If you were to reach out and be really good at for sale by owners, if you would embrace the suck of, guess what? I'm just going to tell you, sometimes our mental grit and our mental toughness, Cynthia, comes from, we just do the things that we suck at over and over and over again until we get good at it. Because I promise you, when we believe we suck at something, guess what we do? Raise your hand if right now I said to you, name one thing you suck at. And so in your mind, you're naming the one thing you suck at. Don't even put it on, don't even comment it, but just think about that in your mind. Think about one thing you suck at. Could be business, could be life, could be whatever. So you have that thing in your head. You've got that thing in your mind that you really, really suck at. Now I want you to, I'm going to ask you a question. Are you excited today, right now at 6:50 Eastern time on January the 18th? Are you excited about going and doing that thing? And you can comment on that. Somebody tell me yes, that I'm excited. I want to see a yes from someone who's excited about going and doing the thing they suck at. Raise your hand. Put a comment on there. It's okay. Most people aren't going to. Because most people aren't excited about doing things they suck at. Most people push away from that. Vanessa said, yep, I'll do it. And that right there, in Cynthia, that's the mental grit. That's the mental toughness. But that is an individual thing. I mean, you can do Sudoku puzzles, I guess. You could do some of these mental games they have on your phone to be mentally strong. But I believe grit comes from doing the hard things over and over again until you realize they're not that hard. I believe mental grit and resilience comes from doing and experience the hard things over and over again, putting yourselves in situations that are super hard, that challenge us physically, that challenge us mentally, doing the things that are super hard over and over again till we finally look up and look back at it and go, that wasn't that bad. I mean, I told the story yesterday of me walking and doing my early morning. So here's my day. In 75 Hard, my first workout right now is a 45-minute walk, and it's pretty quick. Good morning, Winnie G. Good morning, Winnie G. My first workout of the day is a 45-minute walk at a pretty brisk pace. I'm trying to get it below 14 minutes a mile, but right now I hover between 14:10 and 14:30. That's Cynthia said, I completely agree that in the military, we were always told adapt and overcome, right? Steve Morris talks about that. Steve Morris always talks about we pivot, maneuver, and adjust, right? We pivot, maneuver, and adjust. You don't let anything stop you. It may change you. It may direct you in another path. It may nudge you some direction. Sometimes it may hit you in the face and knock you down. But who was it that said it? Was it Sylvester Stallone that said this? It's not how many times you get knocked down, it's how many times you're willing to get back up. Because I promise you, I've used this analogy before. You ever tried to fight somebody who won't give up? I mean, really physically fight somebody who won't quit. You ever hit somebody so hard that you thought you hit them so hard that they shouldn't get back up, and they get back up and they go, huh. I will tell you, that changes your motivation. I can assure you that changes your motivation. That is a real thing. You see it on the movie sometimes when somebody gets hit and they get up and they go, huh. The person that hit them the first time is thinking differently now than they were before they hit them. Because I promise you, when you hit somebody as hard as you can and they shake that off, you've given them everything you've got and they shake that off and they want some more, that's a really bad spot to be in. I'm just going to tell you, because you know you're about to catch one. And how cool is it in life? How cool is it in your business? How wonderful would it be for you if you're the one that every time you get hit, you get back up and smile and say, that ain't enough. How awesome would it be every time that one just hit me. Hang on, I got to gather myself. That one hit me in the emotions. It got me real good. That one did. What kind of person do you become when nothing can beat you? What kind of person can you become if nobody can stop you? What kind of person can you become if every time you get punched in the face, you stand back up and smile and say, that ain't enough? What kind of business could you build? What kind of relationships could you have if every time something punches you in the face, kicks you in the gut, you stand right back up, you take a deep breath, and you look at that thing, whatever it was, and you say, son, that ain't enough. You can't stop me. I do believe that there are things in life that we have to experience. That there have been so many challenges, y'all. There's so many things in life that challenge what you believe about yourself, that challenge what you believe about your ability, that challenge what you believe about your business or about your relationships or about your walk with God or about your personal walk with yourself. There's so many things that happen in our lives that challenge what we believe we know. That's all by design. Do you know God gives you that dream in your heart? He puts that thing in you that you believe you can do. And your mind gets around it. Your heart starts to flutter. You start to feel all the emotions inside of accomplishing that thing. I talked about it yesterday where I wanted you guys in the meeting, I wanted you guys to write that thing down, that no matter what, it's going to pull you to that no matter what, you're going to be pulled to that. You don't need Aaron or Coach Burt or Tony Robbins or Mike Ferry or anybody else to motivate you and push you toward it. You're going to get up every single day because it's pulling you to itself. You get up every single day, no matter what, and go do that thing. Put in that effort, put in that time, do that walk, read that book, make those calls, whatever it is. But God puts that thing in your heart. He puts that thing in your mind. He does that thing because he wants you to do it, right? He wants you to walk that out because he knows when you walk that out, the impact you're going to have on other people. He knows when you walk that out, the circle that you're going to be able to change and the lives and the exponential impact that you walking that out is going to have. But here's the deal. I don't know why he does this. It'd be so much better if he didn't do this as a human. But most of the time when he gives you something big to go do, it's not a cakewalk. It's not like he said, I want you to do X. And you look around and go, I'm going to do X today. And then all of a sudden, the rainbow shines. The birds start flying around you and singing. And everybody's like, oh, I heard you're doing this today. Let me help you. Hey, I heard this is your big dream. This is your big goal. Gosh dog it. Why don't I help you? That ain't the way it works. God puts you in situations. He puts things in front of us. He does things and allows things to happen to challenge how bad we want it. He does things. He challenges us with things so that we can build grit and resilience. So that we don't have that bitch voice telling us, just quit, because it doesn't mean that much. You can't do that anyway. I'm not even sure why you started. It was ridiculous for you to even think that you would be capable of doing that. You do know that you didn't graduate from college. All those things that your voice says to you. When in fact, all those challenges, all this resistance, all the wind in your face is just God allowing things to happen so that you can build one step after the other, one build after the other, one callus after the other, one bump, one bruise after the other, to the point that you look up and you dust yourself off and say, son, that ain't enough. You can't stop me. That's not enough. You can't make me quit. This is what I got to go do. Gosh, how powerful would you be? How strong would you be if you decided you can't make me quit? You can't make me stop. If that thing was so big that you didn't look at the exterior circumstances, you didn't look at all the things on the outside to bring value and worth to you. You didn't look on your situation on the outside to say, oh, this must be right or this must be wrong. That you would look at the inside and you would say, this must be right or this must be wrong. And if it's wrong, I got to change it. If it's wrong, I've got to do something different. Because you find and you see exactly what you're looking for. We say it all the time. You see exactly what you're looking for. And if you see Jeff Whitney says, I feel like that every time I take the national, because you're seeing failure. You're not seeing success. And the cool thing about this universe is you get to see exactly what you're looking for. And if you want to see the bad in a situation, you're going to see the bad in a situation. If you want to see the good in a situation, you're going to see the good in the situation. And that's just it's a simple fact. So to Cynthia's point, man, I'm gonna tell you, the mental strength you can build from getting punched in the face, from getting kicked in the gut, the emotional strength that you can build when you become reliant on your when you become reliant on that and that alone, and then everything else that happens just happens, and it ain't that big a deal. It's just going to happen. Y'all, I'm telling you right now, there are things going on out there in the world that could truly derail us, that could really take us off our path, could really knock us down. And some of us, when that little voice talks, some of us agree and we say, you know what? I think if I would just lay here and sit in the corner and not do anything else, maybe people would just leave me alone. Maybe they would stop talking. Maybe they would stop giving me so much grief. Maybe they would stop doing whatever they're doing. But there's no power in that. There's no strength in that. There's no resolve in that. There's no resilience in that. That's not what gets you to your goal. That's not what gets you to the end. That's not the example that you need to set. Because guess what? In the title of this, what's the cost? What's it going to cost you if you quit? What's it going to cost you if you don't do the things you know you should do? This for sale by owner training this afternoon, one of the things I'm going to talk about, and one of the main points of this deal is learning is fantastic. Understanding words are fantastic. Getting knowledge is fantastic. But that's not where the power is. The power's in the action. The power's in the doing. The power's in embracing being really bad at something and doing it over and over again until you get good at it. That's where the power is. Because I can read I can read Andy Frisella's book, 75 Hard, and I'm almost done with it. And I can finish that entire book and never go out and do any exercise, never go out and change my diet, never go drink any water. And y'all, it doesn't have any impact. Ideas are worthless. Execution is everything. To truly do the things that need to be done, you got to walk out your knowledge. You got to walk out what you're learning. You got to go take action on the things that you're hearing. That's where true change happens. That's where the momentum builds. That's when it starts to work. Most of you on this phone call and that are here with us this morning in the agent group, you're obviously agents with Exit Realty Lake Country. Some of you that are watching this on other channels, you may be in other industries, you may be in the real estate business in other companies, or you may be in the mortgage business, or maybe you're like Jeff Whitney and you're just trying to get that test passed. The real estate industry and what you do on a daily basis, y'all, it's not rocket science. What we do on a daily basis to go do this business, to go provide service to our clients, to go make money, to do the things that we want to do, it's not rocket science. None of you have to solve math problems. We're not having to figure out how to get a jet to the moon. We're not figuring out engineering things and stress fractures and all that kind of stuff. We're not doing that. We literally are going out, finding people to talk to, having conversations with them about real estate, and then hopefully at some point down the road, they'll decide to buy or sell a house. That's what we do. And more times than not, the people that decide to buy or sell a house, they want to buy or sell a house. So it's not even like you're trying to sell them something they don't want. Because at the point that most people decide to buy a house, they need to buy a house. But you know what the challenge is for us? We don't like talking to strangers. We don't like talking to people. And so again, I used this example yesterday in the meeting. If I gave you a box with 100 guaranteed leads, and in that box of 100 guaranteed leads, you were going to close all 100 of them. And all you had to do is call all 100. And every time you called somebody, they were going to tell you yes. You guys would be done with your business by March 1st. Because by March 1st, you will have called all 100. You will have, you literally would tell your husband or tell your wife, y'all, give me 5 hours. I've got to call these people. And you would start calling them. And it'd be a yes, 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 and it'd be a yes. And you would think you're the greatest thing on planet Earth. And you would do it. The challenge is the way the real world works is in that box of 100 yeses, there are 900 no's. And so we have to navigate the other 900 no's to find the 100 yeses. And the simple fact of the matter is we like no, or we dislike no so much that it overshadows our love of yes. Sometimes we let the pain and the discomfort or the challenge override the success. We let the fear of no, we let the discomfort of doing something new, we let the pain of experience or doing something we've never done, we let that pain overshadow what it's going to feel like to accomplish it, what it's going to feel like to get it done. So what's the cost? What's the cost? What's it going to cost you? If you always stop at pain, if you always stop at no, if you always stop at fear, what is that going to cost you? Heck, what's it already cost us? And I say this all the time. If you're in this business, everybody has to live somewhere. Very few of us in our circles, and very few of us on this call in our circles, we have people who live in boxes under bridges. Most of the people that we know live in a house. They live in an apartment. They want to live in a house. Most of the people that we know. You may have somebody that you know that lives under a bridge in a box. I don't know. I don't personally know anybody that lives in a box under a bridge. So most of the people that I know actually live in the thing that I sell. They actually have one of those things they live in, and that's what I work in. I do that, right? I help them buy and sell those kinds of things. More times than not, even though that's an emotional process, they want to buy and sell those things. So they have a desire to purchase and or sell the thing that I happen to work in and the industry that I happen to be in and the thing that I happen to do. They actually want to do that. So then all I've got to do is go find those people. Simple. And the more people I talk to, the more business I do. Really, really simple. So what's it going to cost you on Thursday, January the 19th to not go talk to new people? What's it going to cost you on January the 20th to not go talk to new people? Listening to that voice, is it worth it? Is it worth listening to that voice for you to not talk to 5 or 6 new people today? Is it worth it? Is that voice worth it when he tells you, don't go out there and do that? You don't need to go do that. Don't go. No, if I were you, I wouldn't go to Starbucks and sit in the corner. If I were you, I would not make those phone calls today. You're a whole lot better off like organizing your files. You're going to be a whole lot better off. Let's just shuffle some papers around. Let's make sure that that spreadsheet looks the best. That's a lot better idea. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about the for sale by owner training. You don't really that 1:30 to 3 o'clock time frame. You can do a lot more with that. I mean, you probably need to go have lunch, or you probably need to go. I mean, you have a nail appointment, for heaven's sakes. It's hard to get nails done these days, so you probably ought to go do that. We make all these justifications in our mind. I told y'all my struggle on the other night when I had for sale by owners to call, and I was going to call them to try out the script. Even as long as I've been in the business, that little voice jumped up and said, "Man, you can't do that." I mean, my gut start churning. I'm like, oh my gosh, I got to call somebody I don't know. I got to have this conversation. I'm going to try to use this script. I'm going to give this a shot. Oh my gosh, this is going to be awful. And I literally had to speak out loud and tell myself to shut up. Stop being up and call them. And I did. And I'm better for it. That grit and that resilience of doing the thing that I didn't want to do. That grit and resilience that I built in that situation, that has a compounding effect. But if you quit, if you don't make the phone call, if you don't talk to anybody new, if you don't go out and try to generate any leads, and or you don't want to follow back up with the leads that you did call because you don't want to be a bother, that also has a compounding effect. That's why this 75 hard thing is so cool. It's just something that they put together to help you build upon. That one little thing compounds with the other, that compounds with the other. And you string enough days together, you string enough individual events together that they start to build on each other. And the success starts to build on each other. And then that success begins to compound on success. And then before you know it, you look around and you go, you know what? I'm a badass. Before you know it, you look around, you've done 15 or 20 deals. Before you know it, you put $115,000 in your bank account, and it's only August. Before you know it, you're looking around and going, I can do this. Before you know it, you're doing 30 or 40 transactions a year. Before you know it, you're having conversations with me and Christy saying, I got so much business now. Can y'all help me figure some of this stuff out? Before you know it, those compounding effects start to take root, and those things work in the positive manner, and you start doing those things that you're supposed to be doing over and over and over again. And guess what? Small things done consistently over time have enormous impacts. What's it going to cost you if you don't do it? What's your cost if you don't do it? What's the cost to you if you don't make phone calls today? Will it show up today? Will there be some consequence today if you don't call people? Probably not. Will you feel bad if you don't call somebody today? Probably not. But you do that for 30 days, you do that for 60 days. I promise you, your March and April are not going to look good. because what you're experiencing right now in the business is a result of what you did 30 or 60 days ago. So if you're sitting around like this, wondering where your real estate clients are going to come from, I want you to evaluate what you did 60 days ago. I want you to evaluate what you did 2 months ago. This life's all about mental resilience. This life's all about grit. Life rewards those who won't quit. Life rewards those who won't stop. Jim Rohn, again, I mentioned it yesterday, and I'm gonna mention it again today. He's one of my favorites. If you don't listen to Jim Rohn, I'm telling you, you should. You should. There's so many. I mean, I can just listen to him talk forever. But so many of us want an above average income, but we don't want to put in above average effort. We want an above average income, but we don't want to work on being an above average human. We fail to realize that it's what happens on the inside that creates the results on the outside. We fail to understand, we fail to contemplate, we fail to grasp the fact that what we do or don't do on the inside affects what we don't have or do have on the outside. And what Jim Rohn says is, to have an above average income, you got to be an above average human. So you guys that are on this call this morning, listening to these words, not that I'm smarter, not that I'm so more intelligent than you, because I'm certain I'm not, but sometimes there are words that are spoken, there are things that are said. You get introduced to a book, you get introduced to a concept, you get another reminder that you should do X, Y, or Z for your business or for your family or for your relationships or whatever. And you take that and you start to work on it and you start to build on it and you start to do the things that matter. That's you becoming an above average person, because most people aren't going to do 75 hard. Most people are not going to do what it's going to take to be an entrepreneur. There are a lot of people who want that life until it comes time to have that life. Everybody wants the accolades until they figure out what it takes to get there. They're like, I don't think I want it that bad. Everybody wants the trophy. They just don't want to do the work. Because I promise you, the gravity drags you down. It's a whole lot easier to fall than it is to fly. It's a heck of a lot easier to fall than it is to fly. And a lot of us, we either have people in our circles who pull us down. We have past experiences that we haven't been able to let go of that pull us down. We have things in our lives and people around us that talk about us all the time that pull us down. We have people's opinions we allow to pull us down. We have all these other things around us that we allow them to have too much power over our lives. We allow other people's opinions to have too much freaking power over what we do. I said it yesterday. We are so worried about what we believe other people are going to say. Heck, people are going to say it. There's nothing you can do about it. People are going to say what they're going to say. People are going to speak the truth that they believe is truth. Doesn't make it true, but they might think it is. You can't stop that. What is it going to cost you to not do the things today that you need to do? What's it going to cost you today? If you didn't save $10 today, what's that going to cost you? If instead of saving $10, you spent $10, what does that look like? If you were to save $10 for 30 days, if you were to save $10 for 30 more days, instead of spending $10 for 30 days, what does that look like a year from now for you? What if you were to save $300 a month versus spending $300 a month? What if you were to save $3,600 a year instead of spending $3,600 a year? What if you made one small change, one slight alteration? Jeff Olson has a book called Slight Change. And in Jeff Olson's book, Tammy Bunnell says that it's something that Kaizen, the Japanese talk about in Kaizen, that one small adjustment, one degree adjustment, doing one little bitty thing, not a big deal, not big things, not huge deals, right? Not trying to change everything. I'm trying to change one thing. What's it going to cost you to not do the thing you know you need to do? But I'm tired of talking about negatives. Let's talk about some positive stuff. If you change that one small thing, if you do change 1 degree, if you do adjust your sales, adjust your focus, change your perspective, disconnect from those other people's opinions, disconnect from what you believe other people are going to say before they say it. What if you cut the ties to all that stuff, made that slight change, looked up at the sun, stood up after get punched in the face and say, son, that ain't enough. What if you were to stand up in the face of all the challenge and go do what needs to be done? What if you became that person who got up, stood up, and said, that ain't enough, son, and took a step in the right direction? Just one step. You made that one phone call. The other night, I made 3 phone calls to 3 for sale by owners. 4. Made 4 phone calls. One guy hung up on me, said he hated real estate agents to a certain degree. One person said, I'd love to talk to you again. One person said, I don't need you. And I haven't got another one on the phone. So I make one phone call 4 times. One told me they hated me. One I didn't get in touch with. One said they think they've got it covered. And one said, I'd love to talk to you. If in every 4 phone calls you made, you had 1 lead you developed, would that be worth it? What if today you decided, I'm not going to stop when the guy hangs up on me. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to make another phone call and another phone call and another phone call, because here's what life does. This is what God does. God rewards those who take steps in the right direction. Life rewards those that take steps in the right direction. You keep doing the things that needs to be done. You keep doing the small things that need to be done. You stop spinning all the plates all the time and focus in that one moment on this. Get rid of distractions. Don't be like everybody else. Because an average human is so distracted. There's an app you can put on your phone that will measure your screen time. I've talked about it before. I am so trying to reduce the amount of time I spend. Now, I do spend on time Facebook to market. I do spend time on social media to put things on social media that need to be put on social media. But it's kind of like you're at the buffet and you're doing no carbs. Christy did yesterday. This is a perfect example. So we're starving, right? We leave Madison. We're heading back to Hartwell. We stop at Texas Roadhouse. And y'all know what Texas Roadhouse has? Man, they have got these rolls that are absolutely, I can smell them right now. They are so good. I could eat a truckload of those Texas Roadhouse rolls. They're delicious. Delicious. But on 75 Hard, I made the commitment. My diet was I was going to go, I got rid of pizza, right? Now, pizza is just a mental thing. That's like, for me, pizza was like alcohol. I just put that up with alcohol. But my diet was I'm going no carb. Now, in hindsight, probably should have done something differently than that. But it's what I decided to do, and it's what I'm going to stick with. Life always tries to distract you. Again, if you decided I'm going to sell 25 transactions this year, and you woke up and every single day you woke up with a big old grin on your face, big old smile on your face. When you woke up, your husband or your wife, your kids walk in, they said, hey, mom, hey, dad, I know you're trying to do 25 transactions this year. I'm just going to leave you alone for the next 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to take care of myself. I want you to go make your phone calls. And the next day you woke up and your family, they had on your wall, mom's doing 25 transactions this year. Leave her alone from 9 to 11. Let her go make her phone calls. And when you got out of bed and you rolled out and you're like, oh, I'm gonna start my day now. Your parents and or your spouse and your kids walked up and they encouraged you and they said, hey, go do it. When you went to Ingles, the person at Ingles knew that you were gonna do 25 transactions this year. And they said, oh, Cynthia, you're gonna do 25 transactions this year. That is so exciting. I want to encourage you today to go make those phone calls. What if you went to Starbucks, you went to get your phone at the AT&T store, you went to get your car fixed, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, Vanessa, this is the year you're doing 25 transactions. What can we do to help? I tell you what, I've got 3 people right now you should call. That ain't the way it works. Good gosh, it'd be fantastic if it did, but that ain't the way it works. We have to get up every single day with a sledgehammer in our hand. And we have to go out every single day and go break rocks. Because inside those rocks, there are diamonds. And inside every one of those big rocks we got to break open, there's something in there that's going to help us, that's going to benefit us. That's mental resilience, Cynthia. When you get up every single day with a sledgehammer in your hand, when you wake up every single day and the kids are not encouraging you to go to your 25 transactions, when your spouse isn't encouraging you to your 25 transactions because your spouse needs you to go get the laundry at the dry cleaners, because your spouse needs you to fix them breakfast, or your kids need you to take them to school, or your kids need you to help them with a project the next morning because they forgot to give you a heads up a week before that they had a project due, and you got to stay up all night building Lincoln logs and popsicle stick houses and all the stuff you got to do for your dioramas that you got to build in like the next 2 hours. Y'all understand that. The dog's trapping the floor, the Roomba runs over it happens. That's what life does. You walk outside and your tires are flat or whatever. People are talking on Facebook. You got haters that are saying stuff. You got people who are trying to take you down. Is that really what life's about? Because for most people, that's what it looks like. Do you agree? Michelle Tilson, how awesome would it be when you woke up in the morning that everything was just hunky-dory rosy for you, and you opened up the door to start your day and the birds are singing, the sun was shining, Jesus is standing in the kitchen with your coffee in his hand going, hey girl, go get it today. You have 25 transactions to do this year. Let me help you. Gosh, that would be awesome, wouldn't it? But that ain't the way this works. That ain't the way this works. Every single morning, bloody hands and all, you got to walk out of that bedroom. You got to pick up that sledgehammer that's by your bedroom door, and you got to put that sucker on your shoulder and go break some rocks. Every single day when you walk out that door, you got to get up off the mat. Because the end of this deal, when you find that dream, when you attach to that word that I told y'all to write down yesterday, when you attach yourself to that, there aren't enough rocks to break. I'm telling you, the thing about the 75 hard thing for me right now that I think is so cool, and reading the book, it goes through these weekly transformations and kind of shows you how you transition from one thing to the next. And when you get in the mode and you get in the spot that it doesn't matter if it's snowing, if it's 0 degrees outside, if it's 185 degrees outside, I'm going to go do what I got to go do. I'm going to go put one foot in front of the other and go do the thing that needs to be done. Because that's where grit comes in. That's where resilience comes in. When you go do the thing that needs to be done, in spite of the resistance, in spite of the challenges, in spite of all the things that are coming against you, when you go do those things, then it doesn't matter. The challenges don't matter anymore. The only thing that matters is what benefits you're going to get from reaching your goals and your dreams. All that's going to matter is the success and the victory. It's walking down the aisle to get those medals. That's what matters. Don't let the fear of failure, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being accepted, the fear of no, don't let that fear keep you from realizing your potential. Don't let that fear keep you from reaching your goal. Don't let that fear keep you from walking out and seeing the sun and having that sunshine on your face. Don't let that fear keep you from your 25 transactions. Punch fear in the face. Punch it right in the face. Get up and say, you can't stop me, son. You can't make me quit. So I'm imploring you today, do the things that need to be done. Even if it stinks, even if it's awful, even if it feels crappy, do the thing that needs to be done. Build a little strength. Build a little moxie. Build a little grit. And then put one little piece of grit over the other. Build one little callus over the other. Build one little strength over the other. To have an above average income, you got to be an above average human. Do the things that need to be done. Take action today. Don't let regret keep you from your dreams. Don't let fear keep you from your goal. Don't let that fear stop you from being the person you're called to be and doing the things you're called to do. I want you to realize it. I want you to feel it. I want you to get there. Okay. 1:30 today. We're done. We're done. 1:30 today. On the Agent Facebook page, there's a link in an email that I sent a couple of days ago. We'll do that for Sell by Owner webinar. I think it's going to be a fantastic. I hope it's going to be fantastic. But I do believe even if it's awful, there's going to be some fantastic nuggets in there that you're going to get, and there's going to be some things in there that you're going to learn that you're going to start taking into your business, where you're not going to be afraid of for sale by owners anymore. And you're going to be able to become a listing agent in this business and be very, very good at listing properties. Okay. We're going to be there at 1:30. We'll see you at 1:30. Love y'all. I mean it. Have an awesome day. Sun's coming up. It's a great day to be great. It's a fantastic day to do the things you don't want to do. Okay. Good day to start building that resilience. Good day to go break some rocks. So go do that thing. Be good. Be great. Be you. Bye, y'all. Love you.